Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the iWrestling Results Show. My name is Matt Graves, and I'm joining here tonight. My first time working with this guy. Here's Tomas Develin. What's going on, Tomas?
I'm good. How you doing, Mr. Graves?
Doing great, man. Doing great.
So we've got a packed out show today at the Raging Canes Center at your neck of the woods in Louisiana.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Red Stick, Louisiana.
Deep South country.
Yeah, it was one hell of a show. This was you can always expect that from a Louisiana crowd.
Oh yeah, they're rowdy bunch.
Yeah. And this card didn't disappoint, I don't think.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Pay-per-view quality matches, as only that we do it at iWrestling. So,
absolutely.
If you're ready to start with this one,
let's do this. Right off the gate, we have an opening match for the TV Championship match against the Unholy One, Darken Graves, taking on DCE Sin. And this match was pretty back and forth between both competitors, and both got their licks in, both got their finishes in. But ultimately, Darken Graves got the clean victory using a little light of mine on DC Sin, and he gets the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, but a valiant effort, to say the least. This was a 3-star match. Really good opener.
What you want in an opening contest.
But that's not all. As Darken Graves was celebrating his victory and retaining the TV Championship, Tony Baloney comes back. Not Tony Baloney. Epperson.
The ultimate antagonist, Tony Baloney.
Yeah, the ultimate antagonist himself.
He's going by
comes
now.
Back. And he completely blindsides Graves with his version of the TV Championship. And he just stands over Graves, basically screaming that he never lost his championship. And I don't know, man.
Well, you know, there's a backstory between these two guys. These two guys broke into the business together, actually. Same company, same week, even. They've been thick as thieves, like brothers, and never had that one-on-one match. And I'm kind of surprised that Baloney did this. Kind of a cheap shot there. But
Baloney has been out of action for quite some time. And now he's made his return and made his intentions known. So things are getting pretty spicy. So we'll see what happens next. But
he does have a claim to that television title. He never lost it.
He does indeed. But we'll soon see. But now we head on to the next match. We have the Asian badass himself, Kenzo Blackheart, taking on Jack the Ripper.
Right. This was a 3-star match.
This was pretty intense too.
Right. It didn't disappoint at all. Kenzo comes out the victor. Anytime you get a win over Jack the Ripper, that's something special. And Kenzo Blackheart, he's really proven.
He's a rising star.
Yeah, he proved that on data.
Kenzo's a rising star, and it's exciting to see what he does next after defeating a guy like Ripper. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Ripper's no slouch by any means.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. We move on to Hell Undead and Harley Zane. Another 3-star match. What do you think about this one,
Oh, this match was very good. These two have been at each other faced each other before back in riots, and these two are no strangers to each other, and these two, Hardy Zane and Hell, it was an intense match. It was really both women proving why that women are just as good as the men in IW, and they just tore it down, and Hella wins. Hella Undead wins.
Really good match, guys. I definitely enjoyed it.
Hardy getting a win over the veteran Hardy Zane.
Moving on, we got Ruthless Rick Sabbath against the Savior, Jonathan Davis. The return of the Savior.
The return of the Savior himself. Yes, Johnny Davis, the IW Hall of Famer himself, Johnny Davis, last year. Both men, they just faced each other.
A valiant effort. It was a 2-star match, but
it was good, decent match, decent.
Yeah.
It could be better. If I'm being honest. But it was a good match, good solid match. Ricky getting the win against a big win. Some might say an upset win on the Hall of Famer, and that's just another feather on his cap for the Ruthless one. So yeah, 2-star match. Ricky wins clean.
I'll tell you what. Speaking of upsets, we move on to our next match.
Oh yeah,
Showtime taking on the Corruption Killer, and
this you could say that Corruption Killer was very determined to face.
This Corruption Killer was determined and ready.
Oh yes, and Showtime. Showtime has made an impact here in AEW, being like 2-time hardcore champion, and he really made a splash here. But he was caught unawares this week against the Corruption Killer. The Corruption Killer, being determined that he is, he got scored an upset win over Showtime.
You can't ever underestimate Corruption Killer.
No, never underestimate Corruption
Killer. I'm a little bit taken back by this one. Both gave it a hell of an effort, but Corruption Killer was the man tonight.
I will never underestimate Corruption Killer. I mean, he used to be he was a former heavyweight champion.
Former Delta heavyweight champion.
Well, I think he was a former Alpha heavyweight champion, if I'm correctly. Unofficial, of course. He did beat Justin Klein, as I recall. But
wow.
Never write off Corruption Killer. That man's
definitely.
So he got the win, big upset, 2-star match, good stuff. Now Fatal 4-Way.
This one I enjoyed a lot.
We have Raven Trueblood, the future Roy Cease, Kevin Zane, and the loose iconic hybrid Orlando Simpson, who he's been on a roll as well. All three of these guys team up against the future Roy Cease and completely annihilate him.
Put the man to a flaming table.
Yeah, they made the smart decision of he was a bigger threat, and took him out of the equation, and then battled amongst themselves.
Well, it was a smart thing to do because Roy's been red hot since he's been back. He's
not to mention his past history. He was Riot's champ. I don't know if Riot's champion or not, but I don't think he was Riot's champion. He was. He won. He was red hot in Riots, and so taking them, using strategy there, taking them out of the equation was smart. But like all things, they fought amongst themselves, and then Kevin Zane ends up getting the match, getting the win over pinning Raven Trueblood to win the match. So a big win for Kevin Zane there.
Big win. And we'll try to get an update on Roy Cease and his condition
Yeah.
later on tonight.
3-star match. It was a really good, solid match.
Definitely. Moving on. Tag team action.
Faces of Fear. Bully O'Brien and Douglas O'Shea taking on Chaos and the Extreme One, Chris Conley. Two veterans.
Right. Still, I would have to call this one an upset as well, in a way. Faces of Fear, fresh off that tag team title run. And, Connolly and Chaos kind of made this one look easy.
They just seem to be in stuck in a rut these days. It's kind of going down the spiral. Chaos and Conley managed to beat a highly decorated team such as the Faces of Fear,
Right.
and pin them. I think Conley pins Bully.
Right. He did.
So, yeah, 2-star match.
I would agree with you. The Faces of Fear are in a rut, but if anybody can get out of a rut like that, it's definitely Bully O'Brien, Douglas O'Shea.
Oh yeah, those guys are tough dudes. They'll bounce back. They'll bounce back. So we have
championship action. Second title match of 6 titles on the line here in this card. Hardcore Championship. Jack Arson against Spike.
Spike, a rising star, was a primetime champion in an Omega, and I think he was a Riots champion as well. Yes, he was. He was a last ever Riots champion, last ever Riots champion. So yeah, this kid is a rising star, but he's facing a tall order of Jack Arson, and I mean tall. The man's the man's a monster. 6'8".
He took the word right out of my mouth.
Yeah. Spike, he tried, bro. He tried. He hit Spiker a few times, but
this is
Jack just powered out of it. It was like a 1 count, and he hit the firebomb on Spike, and he kicked out of it too. It was a near fall, and ultimately though, like, Spike tried to go for the Spiker again, but Jack Arson kind of whipped him pushed him into the ropes and hit him with a devastating Bayou boot, Shades of Legion, and that was it. He was gone. 1, 2, 3. Jack Arson retains the Hardcore Championship.
Great match.
Violent effort from their young star. Big things happening for Spike, I reckon. But again, he was up against Jack Arson.
And like I said, this is Jack's milieu. This is his forte.
Yeah, hardcore. Yeah, this would be
environment.
Violent. Yeah. So yeah, it was a 3-star match. It was a decent match, and yeah.
Next up, we got one that I was looking forward to: James Park versus Ethan Carnage, the Eater of Souls, against that Irish bastard.
Yes.
Ethan would pin James after hitting his finisher.
I think it was Karnakazi. Hit the Karnakazi. That's not going without receiving a few gallows glass elbows from the Irish bastard himself.
Correct.
It's a near fall.
You got to know when you're going up against James Park, it don't matter who you are. Pack a lunch, pack 2.
And I think we've seen a more vicious side of more focused side of James Park than we ever seen.
I agree.
Match. We see that he's more laser focused, and he was really wanting to. He was all over, Ethan Carnage, but Ethan Carnage, being the ring veteran that he is, was able to overcome James Park with the Karnakazi.
It's a great match. I mean, that's a main event match on any card. But
what happened afterwards,
that's
though?
something that happened afterwards.
As a dejected James Park was making his up to the ramp, Unfiltered Animal meets him at the top of the ramp, and we don't really know what they were talking about, but like
Been
probably,
going on for a couple weeks now.
but probably like saying hard luck or something like that. I don't know, but but what we do see,
Definitely
but we,
something that Unfiltered Animal felt he needed to make a presence
but
known.
he did see, but what we did see was like James Park shake hands with the Unfiltered Animal and
Right.
make the way to the back.
And we wouldn't see that. This is the last we'll see of them tonight.
No, who knows what that was all about, but time will tell. Strange.
Very strange.
The Irish bastard wouldn't be that trusting, not with his track record of tag teams and everything as such. But
I agree. Unfiltered Animal's got that silver tongue though. He can be very convincing. Whatever it is that they were discussing, we'll have to see what that turns out to be.
So we this match turns out to be the match of the evening, or one of the matches of the evening. I believe a triple threat match: Chicago Savage, the Picasso of promos, taking on Billy Gore, the Bull of AW, or the Bull of Alpha, versus the Doomsayer.
Right, 4 stars.
Man, like two guys against, and then Doomsayer, big fella.
Yeah.
This all three of these guys. All three of these guys were all turned into each other. Like they all got their finishers in there. You got the Welcome from the Strange, that long blower from the big man himself, Doomsayer. You had the Gore Storm from Billy Gore, and but what really sealed the deal was the Chicago Savage, like and Gore were battling each other he gets Billy Gore out of the way and he manages to hit the Sears Tower on the big man Doomsayer and gets the cover for the win. So
Wow.
Chicago Savage gets the win. So yeah, that's 4-star match. It was a great match, all action, bro.
Hard-earned victory for Chicago Savage. Great job on all three guys on their part.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Great promos in all week. I mean, you couldn't ask for much better.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Chicago Savage avenging his television title loss. He's getting back in his zone, getting back comfortable in the hot seat.
I don't think Chicago Savage ever lost his zone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Chicago Savage always puts the work in. He always, even in defeat, he always bounces back. You know what I mean? So that's the thing about Chicago Savage. The man's a professional.
iWrestling original, correct?
One of them, yes. Well, later on, but yeah, he bounces back, bro.
Yeah. And they're all three of them are just a blast to watch. Doomsayer and Billy Gore as well. You ready for some more title action, Tomas?
Oh yes, always ready for some title action, bro. Always.
We've got the United States, or maybe I should say the self-proclaimed United Kingdom champion.
Yes, the United. Yes, this changed names, so it did. It was formerly known as the U.S. Championship, but now it's the United Kingdom Championship, courtesy of the innovator of excellence, DJB.
Excellence is as excellence does, and
taking on E.A.P himself.
Taking on E.A.P. and
former North American champion. Yeah, this was these two have been going at it for a good bit.
this one got heated during
This
the
was
week.
heated. This was heated, and
He
they
was
both.
watching like,
Mm, and that it showed in the match. They were
definitely,
both in each other's faces. They were both like there was definitely some close fists in there, definitely for sure.
oh,
Uh, DJB got the DJ bomb in there for near falls. E.A.P got the ghetto blaster in there as well for a few new falls, and DJB managed to get a DJ bomb uh, onto E.A.P, but like being the crafty man that he is, he uses the ropes for his advantage. You know what I mean? And the referee, the referees in IW, man, they can be oblivious sometimes. You know what I mean? As well as falling over. Didn't see it, and the hand slapped the third time, man, and that was it. And
DJB got out of there with a victory.
laughing his head off whilst E.A.P was, well, pissed off would be an understatement. That man was pure raging. So he was.
He was.
He was pure raging. Oh man.
Some might call it dirty tactics, but some would also argue that
some might say it was opportunistic.
Correct.
But regardless, DJB is still the United Kingdom champion. So yeah, that's. We'll see who.
I don't know if this one's quite over with. We'll have to.
No. So
the other half of our match of the night, we had two matches of the evening. First the triple threat match, and now the tag team title match.
Yes,
their first title defense.
We have
Thomas Marks.
Yes, tag team championship match between Southern Justice against Adam Cage and Thomas Marks, reforming. These two guys have chemistry. They used to be part of the collective, along with the Irish Bastard himself back in the day, and also part of Celtic Rage. They were Celtic Rage. I think this is like the reform of Celtic Rage. Who knows? But Cage and Marks, man, these two guys, both teams were just, oh man, it was crazy.
It was like, back and forth for a good minute.
Oh yeah.
There's ultimately Southern Justice, though, proving why they are the standard when it comes to tag team wrestling.
Yeah, there was a few Australian drivers, a few ESOs, and based of the but the Bubba's man showing that the Boudreaux brothers showing why.
T-Bone picks up Adam Cage. Bubba hits that cutter.
Yeah,
almost like the hammer of justice, and they get a clean win. Bubba gets a pinfall over Adam Cage.
Yeah, showing why they're the tag champs. But after the match,
sorry about that, Tomas. I'm getting word that we got post-match comments from Southern Justice. Let's go to those right quick.
What do we say? What's gonna happen? It happens every time. Me and this man link up more times than not. We come out the victors, and in our very first defense, Adam Cage and Thomas Marks felt exactly the type of pain that we are bringing to the competition in this rebirth of iWrestling. This is just the beginning. David Jones, line him up, and we will knock him down. Keep on coming, boys. Keep on coming.
Some fighting words from the champs, and just basically saying that they're like why it just shows why they're the dominant tag team
Who's going to knock them off? But we had some more after-match activity there.
Yes, Unfiltered Animal meets Cage and Marks up in the ramp, and they sort of do like a team talk huddle, like a football huddle, around making sure nobody like sees or hears them discussing. Who knows what they're discussing? But they both go back to. They all head off to the back together, whatever the hell that was like. But something's
Do you
cooking.
think that had something to do with Southern Justice, or was that its own little thing there?
Oh, who knows, man? Who knows? I mean, those guys.
This is getting interesting.
They're cooking something. I don't quite put my finger on it, but yeah. But this time we have the Human Horror Show taking on the IW Hall of Famer Pitbull. Yes, Pitbull.
Cool.
And this was Pitbull just annihilates Zack. Like he to pardon the pun, he dogs on Monstar, and Pitbull.
We don't want to say that any match was disappointing, but
It was it had potential, but it just
right.
kind of lacking. 2-star match, man. Pitbull being Pitbull, in your face, that classic Pitbull style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always being brash. He never. The guy is in great shape.
He is definitely.
He's in good shape after coming back. He's definitely been hitting the gym, bro, and you can tell. But yeah, he beats Zack in a 2-star match. So that's Pitbull for you. And now, North American Championship match, bro.
Oh well.
Interesting.
We thought there was going to be a North American Championship match.
Okay, the Joshua McLean, whoever has been battling with his concussion, is finally cognitive. He's back on track. But before the match even fucking began, bro, when he was making his way, before he even made it to the ring, the Unfiltered Animal, Thomas Marks, Adam Cage, and the Irish Bastard himself just completely decimate him, and then just wail on him, man. It was savage, brutal.
Now it's making sense.
Punching, knees, kicks, boots, you name it, bro. It was vicious, man. It was like it was like a mugging, bro. It was like a mugging.
It was.
Yeah, and it was a 4-on-1, man. It was an assault. And just left him like lifeless, bro, and bloody in the ring. Actually, I think they actually trailed him up to the ring, just rolled him into the ring, and blood, everything.
Right, they left him in a pool of his own blood, and
Unfiltered Animal gets a mic, and he just declares that they are the Wealth, a new faction called the Wealth. And they're here in AW, and he just literally throws the microphone onto Josh, onto his stomach, making him like cough up blood and everything. And they just kind of left the ring afterwards.
This was brutal. Brutal.
Oh yeah, it was brutal.
I think NWO meets Nexus meets
definitely.
The Shield.
Yes, it was definitely not for the faint of heart. Like if
McLean's a tough guy.
But it was 4-on-1, bro.
Those four. Let's talk a little bit about the Wealth here. This is kind of scary. Like you said, these are 4 tough SOBs.
You have Unfiltered Animal. You have Thomas Marks, who is known for his intensity. You know what I mean? And you have Adam Cage, Adam effing Cage, as he calls himself.
Speaking of intensity.
That man. And then you have the Irish Bastard himself, James Park, who's...
Speaking of intensity.
Yeah. They're like the embodiment of intensity. Sort
And
of.
this is these are four European guys that clearly have some sort of issue, maybe with America. I don't know.
I have no idea, man.
Uh,
You know these conspiracy theories, man. They're everywhere. These guys with 10 hats, man. I don't know, man. But like, it was a brutal sight, man. If you had children watching, just take them away. It was brutal. It was not for the faint of heart, man. Um,
Hopefully
Jeez.
they're done for tonight. But this is something to be watching for.
Oh
These
yeah,
guys, these four
it's
together,
dangerous, dangerous.
people are gonna have to start growing eyes in the back of their heads.
Absolutely. And we're on to the double main event. Well, hold on. That last match was a 2-star match because, well, it never really happened after the mauling. But we have a double main event. We have the Alpha and Omega Championship, World Heavyweight Championship unification match
Looking forward to this one.
between the Loaded Gun Nuke Face Brotherhood man, Chad Bartlett, taking on the icon himself, part of Anarchy, the group Anarchy. The main event, Matt Storm, Omega champion.
The self-proclaimed best he is at what he does.
There was a few. There was a champion versus champion match, man. As
Right.
it was asses on seats. It was electric. Both men gave it their all. A few Eye of the Storms, a few Nagasaki 45s. But like ultimately though, Chad was able to get that third Nagasaki 45, 1945, and beats Matt Storm, unifying the championships.
Going on to face the winner of the second match. But I would say this about Chad Bartlett. You know, he is almost unstoppable right now. He has challenged anyone to step up. Matt Storm, he gave it a valiant effort. He stepped up, but it just wasn't enough. And I wonder what will be enough to beat Chad Bartlett, if anything.
And now we have the main event of the evening. We have the IW World Heavyweight Championship match on the line. The Beast of the Southern Wild, the Professor, Nick Harrison, the IW World Heavyweight Champion, taking on the former World Heavyweight Champion, ROCKYT. In this match,
I got goosebumps already. Fans are standing on their feet for this one.
this is a rematch from WrestleKid
Sure is.
4, so it is. And man, what can I say about this match, man? This had the fans glued to their seats. We had plenty of dropping of the GTPAs. We had the Rocky leg drop, the rock bottom, everything. It was near falls galore. It was
pretty even throughout the first half of the match. But ROCKYT started to get the upper hand.
He did.
Toward the end of the match.
He did. Both men were fatigued by the end of it, but ROCKYT starting to get the upper hand. And I think he hit the rock. He stunned Nick Harrison. The Professor was going for dropping GDPA, but he countered it and he reversed it into a rock bottom and hit the rock drop. And he went for the cover.
Both men were spent at this point.
But then the referee was about to hit the 3 count, but the fucking Wealth come out, just jump the barricade and surround Rocky and start beating the absolute shite out of ROCKYT.
Yes. Professor Nick Harrison, before he can even be touched, he grabs his title belt.
He skedaddled out. He walks up out of there. He was laughing at ROCKYT whilst the Wealth just tore into ROCKYT.
Yeah, I thought the McLean beatdown was bad, but this one was pretty brutal itself.
And, you know, I hate to say this, man, but like this is kind of like sort of karma. This is sort of like karma because if you remember, Rocky T did the same thing whenever he was
Really?
part of with Society X. So like you could say that karma has came out to bite him in the ass in the form of the wealth, and they were giving them a taste of their medicine, his own medicine.
Talk about a statement. These four guys tonight.
But like
Uh,
to wheel on Rocky T, a
the
guy who
iWrestling world is going to be talking about this for some time. These guys, uh,
and
they're-
they all stand over like Rocky T while he's like just laying there like a carcass.
it could have gotten a lot worse as well.
Oh yeah, it couldn't have gotten a lot worse, but um
An old friend would come
an old
come
friend
to
of
me out
Rocky
yielding a baseball bat.
an old friend of Rocky T from the
Right.
back in Blue Crew days. Um
E.A.P. He was still hungry. He didn't get his fix from the DJB match, so he still
he
had
came
some
he
asses to
came
kick.
he came out with a baseball bat and he started swinging for the fences, and you know the Wealth, they kind of like they scarpered out of there, boys. They scarpered out of there. They sort of like,
But the damage was done.
but the damage is done, man. It was like they went up to the ramp and they were laughing and all that there, and sort of like just went off. They just got out of there, bro.
I think it's
And
safe to say that they put IW on notice.
they did, and I think it's kind of poetic too because you know if you remember, Adam Cage was a former Black and Blue crew member as well, alongside with
Right.
E.A.P and
Right.
Rocky T. And a few weeks ago, um, attacked him and by cheap methods, and during his match, I think it was a low blow or something. So you know, there's connotations and stuff, but these guys definitely made a statement.
I'm wondering if are we seeing? Do you think possibly a reincarnation of the Black and Blue crew, EAP out? Or am I reading too much into that?
Possibly, but Rocky T has said that he wanted to get the band back together, but ultimately, Adam Cage basically says, "Yeah, nah, mate, you give him his answer in the form of nah, yeah, nah."
It will go down in the history books as a victory for Rocky T, nonetheless by disqualification. Therefore,
But as you know,
Harrison retains.
the title doesn't change hands through a DK. So Rocky did win, but you know,
Still sets us up for the loaded gun, Chad Bartlett, and the Professor Nick Harrison.
but Rocky T will be looking revenge on against the Wealth, because whenever you do Rocky wrong, as you've seen before, that man becomes like the spirit of vengeance himself. He goes straight for you. So
I'm sure he's nice and pissed right now.
I'm pretty sure like he after
He
like
doesn't
he's
forget.
done in the medical room, he's pissed. He's really pissed. But yeah.
And that was the card here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Afterthoughts, Tomas. If we can take anything away from this card, I think a few things.
I think it was a pretty solid card. Solid
Champions
matches.
were dominant.
Champions were dominant.
The Wealth makes a huge impact now that we know him now as the Wealth.
Yes, the formation of the Wealth is going to be everything.
And now
everyone's going to talk about is that what they'll do next. Who knows? Your guess as good as mine.
I'm scared to ask.
But these guys obviously have a vendetta. You have an agenda. What
Definitely.
this agenda is, I don't know, but I'm sure we'll find out in due time.
And last but not least, we now have Chad Bartlett to challenge Professor Nick Harrison for the IW World Heavyweight Championship. It's going to be a great match.
That's a pay-per-view match right there.
One hell of a match.
Yeah. That's going to be good.
Well, yeah, and a round of applause around to the whole roster.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody on the roster did great this week.
It was a good show. Really good. Good showing.
Really helped
Really good
pull
showing.
IW together. And as I hope me and Tomas have with this show, and hope you
From IW headquarters.
hope you all enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was-
Tomas, I'll let you
Keep her,
take us out of here.
keep her lit, boys. Just keep her lit and be safe and be well.
Take care. We'll see you guys next week.